Given a string, return a string where every char in the original there are 2 chars. Okay. Ah. Nice. Let me see if ChatGPT does it in a similar way or different. Yo, I have one idea. You might have better one. Create new string, double name, and iterate through the string array. And append to double D. Not sure how to do that. But let's see here. Give me the Java solution. Okay, so it looks like they did a 4 string also, but they used char at char c equals string dot char at I. They did a string builder result equals new string builder. I need to write this down because this stuff I haven't really learned. Let me see here. String builder and char at result result append C. Return result to string. I mean, that's pretty similar to what I did. Why am I learning Java? Because I already learned Java in my boot camp, which was a while ago. And that's just like my main coding language. So I want to focus on that. And it's been a while since I've used it, so I'm pretty rusty on it right now. So I'm just trying to get back into the swing of things. And I'm just trying to focus on mastering it so I can finally do some interviews soon and get a job. So I'm just really preparing for a technical interview. And there's not really like a specific reason I'm going for Java other than, like I said, that's the main language that they taught me in the boot camp, and it's a language that is pretty highly likely to get me a job around my area or like remote work. But I'm gonna learn more languages after this. I mean, I know some SQL, I know CSS, I know HTML, JavaScript. I don't know them that well. I need to like knock the rust off again, because it's been a while since I've used those also. But I think after Java, Java's pretty similar to C#, so I'm gonna be learning C# also after Java. And then after that, I'm probably gonna do Python. Wow, you're pretty good. Can you share the tips? You said, are you looking for back-end roles in Java? Yeah, I am. I like back-end better than front-end, honestly. But technically, I'm technically a full-stack developer, since I know like HTML, CSS, JavaScript. But I prefer back-end because to me, that's like more of like my idea of coding. Like I don't really care to be a web developer. I never wanted to be a web developer. I want to like be able to build tech and work on just like improving things in the tech world. Okay, no, just stick with one language and become master at it. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal right now, but I do need to learn more languages because I want to open up my opportunities to other things as well. Like, I would like to learn C#, like I said, because that's similar to Java, and C# will allow me to do a lot of like video game development, which is another thing I'm interested in. So that might be a route I go down at some point. I want to learn Python because, like Java, that's another language that's like gonna get me a job, and Python is like really popular with like AI, machine learning, things like that, which I don't know if I want to go down that route, but like maybe long term, if I move up in my career, I would like to go that route. So Python might be something I want to do at some point. And then, but now that I think about it, I don't know, I might want to do like C and C++, because I would like to do like embedded development also, like for robotics. I think that'd be really cool. How old do you think I am? I think you asked me that before, didn't you? Because I remember you in my chat. Return the number of times that the string high appears anywhere in the given string. Can't remember if it's lowercase or uppercase. Take a guess, man. I want to know what you think. For you think I'm 18? Nah, man, I'm way older than that. I'm 35, but I'm just starting to learn to code now because I want a career change. My main job right now is sales, international sales. And I've always wanted to learn coding anyways, so. Yeah. You said I got one idea, do first, then I will post mine. All right. Got it. All right, what's your idea? I want to see how ChatGPT does it. See, they did int count equals 0. They did it the same way I did it. You would do a loop and take 2 pointers, start equals 0 and end equals start plus 1, and see if those equal to high. I will add an count variable and increment it. But actually type out the code, because when you just like explain it to me like that, I'm not sure what you're saying, because I think you might know some syntax that I don't know. So that's probably another reason why I'm not understanding what you're saying. If they are not same, I will move the pointers. Not sure how you're doing that. But ChatGPT did it the same way I did it. So I'm happy with it. Whatever will get me through a technical interview is what I'm trying to do right now. Do you have a job yet? Where are you from, man? You work at a startup for pennies. Yeah, at least you got your foot in the door. That's the hardest part sometimes. You need that experience, and that experience will get you better jobs. You said int count equals 0 for int start equals 0, end equals 1. Damn, I have no clue. I've never seen someone use that before, end and start. I don't even know how that's used. Yeah, it seems like most of my viewers are from India. Wait, your name, your YouTube name seems like it could be like Americans. It's in English, so that's why I wasn't sure you're from India also. Okay, return true if the string cat and dog appear the same number of times in the given string. Return true. Well, my boot camp didn't even cover start and end, so I feel like, are you like more advanced with Java? Because that seems like some syntax that isn't usually like taught for junior developers. Like, that doesn't really seem like that's syntax that's like part of the fundamentals. I could be wrong, but like I said, my boot camp didn't even teach us that, so that's kind of crazy. Return true if the string cat and dog appear the same number of times in the given string. Okay, so int cat count equals 0, int dog count equals 0. Or oh, wait, what am I doing? me think. I don't even know if I need to put that in parentheses. Um, if thanks, man. Appreciate it. Were you able to figure this one out? So if you want me to explain this one, it was pretty similar to the last one where you just initialize the cat count and the dog count as 0. Then you do the for loop here, so that way it iterates through the substring of string for 3 indexes. And you do I plus 2 because you're doing 3 indexes, and it needs to be less than the string length because the number of the index of the string, the last index would be less than the number of the length. Because, like, for example, if the length was 9 chars, then the last index would actually be 8 because the first index is 0. And then each time you do I plus plus like normal for loops, and then you're doing 2 if statements here, and you're checking to see if that substring equals cat, and if it does, then you're adding to the cat count, and then you're checking to see if that substring equals dog, and if it does, you add 1 to the dog count. And then after it counts how many cats and dogs are in the string, then you go down here and you check to see if the cat count and the dog count are the same, and if it is, then it returns true, and then if it's not, it returns false. Thanks, man. Yeah, a lot of people say I look younger than I am. That's how my mom is too, so I have her genetics. It's kind of funny. Did you join DSA focused boot camp? What's that? No, I joined this boot camp that's like in the city where I'm from, and they have that boot camp in like a couple other cities as well. And the one I did was remote, so it was all via Zoom. And we had homework and stuff. We met on Zoom like twice a week and then did homework and did projects and stuff. I feel like it gave me like a pretty good like idea of how coding is, and gave me like a pretty solid foundation for being full stack developer. But I did not feel like I was a master of anything at the end of the camp. So that's why I still feel like I have to practice these problems before I actually do any interviews. I did not feel ready for any interviews after that boot camp was over. Because my boot camp actually ended like last spring or like early summer. And I was pretty burnt out from it. So I just didn't really code for a while. But I've been trying to get back into it. And I think I'm doing pretty well now. I've been pretty consistent with it lately. And this is exactly what I need to do. I need to do just a bunch of katas until I feel like super comfortable with them. Return the number of times that the string code appears anywhere in the given string, except will accept any letter for the D, so cope and Q count. I think this one is easy. Int equals count substring equals code count plus plus. This one's a little tricky because you are ignoring the third char in this one right here. So let me see. Yeah, you don't really equal it to code. You have to like separate it. So this one's a little tricky. Int count equals 0. For loop equals that. Strings. Yeah, you'll see how I do it. I think I got this one. If string substring I Oh. Wait. 2 equals Q and string substring I plus what would it be? Three. I forgot to initialize that. Got it. So you understand what I did there? You have to separate the first 2 letters and then the last letter. So you're only, yeah, because like for code, cope, and this one, you're only checking the first 2 chars and then you're checking the last one. So you just skip this part of the substring. I want to see how ChatGPT does it. Shit, man, you were damn good. Thanks, man. How long did it take? How long did you sit your ass and practice daily? I mean, I've only been practicing this for like 2 or 3 weeks now. Like 3 weeks. I don't know. 3 or 4 weeks now. If string char at I equals C and string char at Z. I kind of like the way I did it better. I feel like the way I did it was like slightly simpler. I don't know. It's about the same, I guess. How many hours did you spend daily? It's varied, man. Like if you could go on my YouTube channel. Let me see here. Let me go to my YouTube channel. If you go to my YouTube channel and then you go to live, it will show you most, like I may have deleted some of my streams, but it'll show you most of the streams that I've done over the last month. I don't know if I deleted some streams or not, but it looks like so far I've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 10. Today's my 12th stream. If I didn't delete any of them, there's a few that are an hour. Most of them are like around an hour. I did one for 2 hours. I did one for 2.5 hours. I did one for like almost 5 hours. So it varies. Usually like about an hour and a half. I would say the average is like 1.5 to 2 hours. So you did all on stream? Pretty much, yeah. I try to stream every time I'm practicing. Given two strings, return true if either of the strings appear at the very end of the other string, ignoring upper lowercase differences. In other words, the computation should not be case sensitive. Note, string to lowercase returns the lowercase version of a string. Thanks, man. Given two strings, I don't know if you subscribe to my channel or not, because I've seen you in here before, so I recognize you, so I'm assuming you subscribed to my channel. But so if you did, I appreciate that, man. It really helps me out a lot. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. That's the goal. Given two strings, return true if either of the strings appears at the very end of the other string, ignoring upper and lowercase differences. In other words, the computation should not be case sensitive. Turns. Okay. I think I have an idea of how to do this. Doesn't tell me. It doesn't tell me how long the strings are, so that could be a problem. String lower a equals a to lower case. String lower b equals b to lowercase. Int length a equals lower a length int length b equals lower b length if a equals 0, oh wait, if length a equals 0 or length b equals 0, return false. If length a is less than length b, if let me think about this. If yo, just compare the first two letters of the first string with the next string, last two letters. Do yours first, don't read mine. Nietzsche said real. I got some of them right, but I missed a bunch of the test cases. If oh, I'm not checking to see if they're the same length. If Almost there. I got some of those test cases correct now. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing wrong here. This should be turning out to be true. Do you guys know what I'm doing wrong? Yeah, so I'm gonna have to ask ChatGPT what's wrong with my code. I have no clue. Oh. Put the bracket in the wrong spot, that's why. Should be okay now. Yep. I need to watch out for that. You guys understand how that worked? I'm gonna shorten the code up a little bit, so all right, so for those of you who weren't in here when we looked at this problem, it says given two strings, return true if either of the strings appears at the very end of the other string, ignoring upper or lower case differences. In other words, the computation should not be case sensitive. So we're going to use this to lowercase syntax there, and then we're going to say returns. So that returns the lowercase version of the string. So these are the examples of test cases here. So this is at the end of this one, so that's true. This is at the end of this one, so that returns true. And this is at the end of this one, so that returns true. So I just took both of the strings and I just immediately made them both lowercase to get that out of the way. And then I figured out what the length of both of them was, and I set them up as ints here. And then at first I checked to see if they were both, if either of them was 0, because if either of them was 0, then the next if statements would have had a like out of bounds exception error. So we're checking to see if either of them are 0 first. And if one of them is 0, then it's going to return false. Okay, and then if this is not true, if this if statement is not true, then we're going to go down here and we're going to check to see if the length of both of them is the same. If the length of both of them is the same, then we're going to do an if statement, and we're going to check to see if like one of them equals the other one, because if the length is the same, then that means that they have to be the same string basically in order to return true. So if they're not the same string, then we're going to go down to the next if statement, and we're going to see if A is less than B, then we're going to check the substring of B, and this figures out the last portion of B, and if that equals A, then it's going to return true. And then the next if statement is basically the same thing, just reverse. We're checking to see if the length of B is less than the length of A. I could have actually put, let me see here. I could just remove this portion here and it would still work. I don't necessarily need this if statement here since I already checked all the other possibilities, but I'm going to just leave it there for clarity. We're checking to see if the length of B is less than the length of A, and then if it is, then it's going to say, it's going to check if the last portion of A equals B, and if it does, then it's going to return true. And then if none of the above is true, then we're going to return false down here. Did you try that one yet, code guy? Do you have a solution for that one? You need me to go back to it real quick, let me know. If not, I'm going to start the next problem. All right, I'm going to just go to the next problem. All right. Return true if the given string contains an appearance of XYZ where the XYZ is not directly preceded by a period. So XXYZ counts, but X.XYZ does not. Okay, so we're gonna do a for loop for int I equals 0. -2. Um, Wait, why am I doing? I don't think I need. Do I need to do a for loop? I don't think I need to do a for loop. Let me erase this. Oh yeah, actually. Is there does not equal? Nice. Got that one, guys. Did anyone else do it with me? So I'll explain this one to you guys if you are confused or you didn't get it. So first we're checking to see if the length of the string equals 3. So if it's 3, then we know there's no period. So we're gonna just check to see if the full string equals XYZ. If it does, we're gonna return true. If this is not true, then we're gonna go down here and we're gonna check to see if the length is greater than 3. Because if the length is greater than 3, then there is a possibility that there could be a period, and there's also a possibility that XYZ could be at the beginning of the string or the end of the string. So we're gonna check to see. All right, man, sounds good. Have a good day at work, man. We're gonna check to see if the substring of string at the beginning equals XYZ. We're checking the beginning because if we do this part first, then we're gonna get an out of bounds exception error, because here this part doesn't exist, this index. If it wait, let me think. Trying to think how to explain that to you. Well, yeah, we're checking to see if it's above 3, and then here. Okay, so this part, this if statement, it's for this if statement, this for loop, and this if statement. So we're just checking to see if it's above 3, and then we're gonna check to see if the first 3 letters equals XYZ, because we don't have to worry about there being a period before that. If it does, then we're gonna return true. If this is not true, we're gonna go down here. We're gonna do this for loop here to iterate through the rest of the indexes in the string, and then we're gonna check here with an if statement. We're gonna check this substring, and we're starting it at 1, because this part here is to check to see if there is a period beforehand. So if we started at 0, we know there's no period before that. We already checked that here. So we're starting at 1 here. And then we're going to check to see if each substring in the string equals XYZ, and the char before this string here does not equal, that's why this exclamation mark is here, does not equal the period. And then if this whole line is true, then we're going to return true. And if none of the above is true, then we're going to come down here and return false. Who all's in here still? All right, so tonight I did 6 problems so far. I'm gonna try to do be like one more. Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'll do a couple more. Return true. Wait, let me see here. There we go. I'm kind of slow tonight, guys. Well, I started kind of late too. Been doing this for an hour and got through 6 problems, so that's not bad. But I'm spending like a little too long on each problem. But I was doing a little bit of talking at the beginning. Been about like 10 minutes a problem if you think about it. All right, return true if the given string contains a bob string, but where the middle O char can be any char. I mean, this is similar to another one we did earlier.
I love you. I love you.
You know, I'm gonna use char at. I don't remember if it's Then what's the problem here? Cannot find symbol char at. Is it like lowercase? Cannot be dereferenced. What's wrong with this? Oh man, let me see here. Is it 4? Why can't you do? I don't understand why you can't do it like that. I see. All right. Did any of you guys get it? So to explain this, we're checking to see if the length of the string is greater than or equal to 3. Because if it's less than that, then we know that there's not going to be any string bob within the string. And then we're going to do a for loop to iterate through the string in case it is larger than 3. And we're going to start at index 0 and go up until I is less than the string length minus 2. And then if the char at the at I for the string equals b, and the string char at I plus 2 equals b, because we're only checking the b and the b because the middle char can be any char, it says up here. So if both of those are b, then it's going to return true. And if that's not true and the string length is less than 3, then it's going to go down here and return false. All right, guys, I'm going to call it a night. It's late for me. But if you enjoyed the stream, please give me a sub. Please subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and I'm trying to code pretty much every night during the week. I've been at it for like a solid month now, and I want to keep it going. So I really appreciate your support. Please subscribe to my channel, and make sure you come in and chat with me next time and solve these problems along with me.